Welcome to Pop Culture Roulette for all your pop culture needs. We're America's podcast.
Woo!
All right. Welcome, everybody. Hope you enjoyed our Halloween marathon. I thought we did a pretty good job. I don't know. I know Jeremy needed a little time to rest, get some sleep.
Should
But
have stayed
today,
asleep instead of watching that game.
so we are joined today. Well, as always, I'm Nicholas. I'm joined by a host of many podcasts, Jeremy.
Hi.
And well, an owner of a team that desperately needs to answer some questions, Justin.
Yeah, I gotta fire some people
Do you think your team can turn it around, Justin?
and make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
I mean,
Do I think they can? Sure, will they? No.
No.
I mean,
Is that why you're drinking?
They've
Many reasons.
they've completely given up on the season at this point, right? I mean,
No, because they're still trotting Rogers out there.
yeah, I mean, at this point, you just sit him for the rest of the season. Grown up Jordan Love's trade value, and
You
Try to-
trade Rogers. You keep Love.
come on now. Let's not get stupid.
He's only got like 2 years left in him. Trade him for all you can. Try to get a better quarterback in the draft and go from there.
Yeah,
Quick-
man. Rogers is gassed.
Yeah, that might be true, but don't sit here and try to say get a better quarterback. There's
Well,
like maybe,
then Love.
oh, okay. I gotta say, because there's only like 3 or 4 guys in NFL history who are better than Aaron Rodgers. So, and
Yeah, I meant then
and-
Love.
and
Right.
so all right, well, so enough of that. It's been a little while since we've done just a normal episode. It's kind of weird trying to get back into the swing of things here. So,
I can't wait to hear about what's going on in the world of pop culture.
well, let's talk about it. James Gunn and Peter Safran have been named co-heads of DC Studios.
I know one of those names.
Yeah.
That's I also only know one of those names, but I will tell you that the name I do know, him being in charge of the DC Studios, makes me happy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
Yeah, James Saffron. Is that his name?
Peter Safran. You combined the two names there.
Well, they're one entity.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
They
they are
are one
co-heads,
now.
so yeah. But I mean, when it comes down to it, while it wasn't, it was one of the better DC movies. It still wasn't that good, but it was outside of Shazam, it was one of the better DC movies. James Gunn's offering of the Suicide Squad was pretty good. The Peacemaker was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping that, there's a way I think you can still reboot the franchise. And kind of restart it in a way that you can keep some of the continuity and ignore some of the stuff that already happened. Kind of
Yep.
just
Fair. That's what we do here.
Right. I mean, you can elseworld it or alternate reality or with time travel. And look at what Marvel's doing. I mean, you're just like, everything is now in another dimension.
Yeah.
Or
That happened in this universe.
yeah, that this is not the same Henry Cavill as Superman. This is Earth 2 Superman. And he just happens to look exactly like Earth 1 Superman.
Yeah. Twinsies.
Aw.
So basically, we're all on board with James Gunn taking over DC. Maybe we'll get a good DC film.
I mean, can't get much worse.
Have any of us seen Black Adam yet?
No.
No.
I heard it sucks.
It's so weird to have a comic movie come out, and I'm just kind of like, what? And a comic movie with The Rock, and I'm just like,
It's
oh
not
wait.
it's not that weird. You have a strong hatred of DC.
Okay. You know what? I've been thinking about this. This is something that you've been saying. I don't hate DC.
You hate
I
DC
want
movies.
I want DC to win. I don't want them to win. I want them to succeed. I want good movies out of both of them. There's no excuse or no reason we can't have a really good Marvel movie and a really good DC movie. We don't have to put one down to build the other one up. Like it would be awesome if I would go see, whatever version of Dark Knight that Ben Affleck can give us at the same time that we're getting, just consistent quality out of Marvel. Like how awesome would it be if like both studios were doing really good movies?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, a lot of people are saying because of James Gunn's involvement with Marvel, because clearly he's still already in the process of directing the holiday special, which I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for that. I didn't send it to you,
I did not.
but okay.
It's great.
If it's not sent to me, probably don't see it.
But I mean, it's like a mini Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy like 2.5, or like a and for lack of a better word, a prequel to Guardians 3. But they've decided that Star-Lord, Peter Quill is depressed, and so they're gonna make him happy for Christmas, and they're gonna go kidnap Kevin Bacon.
I didn't know he was a Packer fan.
Huh. Classic.
Ah,
So
why Kevin Bacon?
because why not?
All right.
But a lot of people are like, this is how Marvel and DC will have the crossover movies. James Gunn will make it happen. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. I just think that Marvel is going to take a little bit more of the, well, James Gunn has made us a lot of money. Let's just let him continue to make us a lot of money. Who cares if he's also making the other guys a lot of money? Like, again, I don't think Marvel wants DC to fail. I think
How much is that guy going to be worth when it's all said and done?
billions.
All right.
Hey James, can you help some of your friends out here at the PCR podcast?
We promote you a lot, buddy. I'm going to look
That
up his net worth.
I mean, I don't imagine it's very high right now, but give it a couple of years when he's got a few, DC blockbusters under his belt. Now, granted, it doesn't mean he's going to start directing all the DC films. It just means I think it means that they're definitely trying to get away from Snyder and the Snyderverse. Like they're kind of like that part of the DCEU is done.
It says 50 million.
Well, I tell you what, if one of us wins the 1.9 billion, we will take over as the most powerful podcast on the planet.
Yes.
And we will also buy the Brewers.
I don't want to buy the Brewers.
Well, we'll fix them. Although the Angels are currently up for sale, maybe we'll buy into them.
I already own one failing franchise. I don't need another.
But oddly enough, before they gave it to James Gunn, Warner Brothers did make a play. It failed. It failed miserably. But they called up Kevin Feige and they were like, "Hey, buddy, Izzy, Ozzy, whichever cat you want."
Catcast is back at it.
Catcast. But they called up Kevin Feige and they're like, "Hey, buddy, we know you love comic books. Why don't you come on over here?" And I'm sure Marvel went, "No, he's ours. No, you can't talk to him. Here's some more money."
Yeah. Here's a list of people you can talk to.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was, like the protected free agents. Like you call at the end of the season, you call up and you're like, "Hey, I'd like to have a conversation with the one guy." No, you can't talk to
he's restricted. We have first rights.
Yeah, you can't talk to that guy. You can talk to this guy. And then that's how Marvel lost James Gunn to DC permanently. or it's all a play to like destroy DC from the inside.
That's what are they doing over there? I don't think he has to help destroy them from the inside.
That is true.
Sadly.
Well, here you go. Here's a story that will have you on the anti-Marvel side. You know, so I mean, I am constantly bringing DC down. Let's bring Marvel down a little bit. They have announced the director of the third Venom movie. Which, first off, why? I mean, the first two were just not good.
They were okay.
The screenwriter of the first two Venoms, and 50 Shades of Grey, and Cruella, and Saving Mr. Banks. She has apparently no directing experience. Her name is Kelly Marcel, and we're going to let her write and direct the third Venom movie.
We're gonna let her.
All right. Is it still the same Tom playing
Yeah,
Venom?
so Tom Hardy
There's
will
so
be
many
back.
Toms.
Yeah,
So
there's-
he's going to be shirtless a lot then.
well, probably. You know, I mean, that is what Tom Hardy does best. I mean, so you know what? I mean, this goes one of two ways. One, first time director, we're like, oh my goodness, why is it taking so long to let her get in the director's chair? That was amazing. She just saved the Venom franchise.
Yeah.
Or, well, why would you let somebody who's never directed anything
Or first time director, it shows.
and wrote 50 Shades of Grey? Why would you let this person direct?
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully it goes a positive direction for her.
Yeah.
I wish her the best. What's her name?
No.
Marcel?
Kelly Marcel.
Kelly Marcel.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck to you.
Good luck, kid. You're going to need it.
All right. Well, here's a little story that's going to get Jeremy interested. This is especially for him. This story in particular.
I'll just
I
put
know-
my feet up and wait for my segment.
All right.
I will
So-
get a little straighter in my chair now.
I did send you guys a link to this one, so you should be aware of it.
Uh-oh.
It's a test.
But what do you think of Crystal Lake, the series?
Oh,
Coming-
God.
A prequel series at that. Now here's where it gets weird. All right, the first day they were like, well, they don't have rights to the hockey mask.
Right.
They don't have rights to anything that happened after 3. Like they can only use the first 2 movies. And then like 2 days later after that, like just I think Friday, Brian Fuller, the guy who's creating it, producing it, said, "Oh no, we have the TV rights. We can do whatever we want. We have it all. It's the movie rights that are all locked up." Like, so apparently Sean Cunningham and all those other guys that are all fighting with each other, and that's why we haven't had a Jason movie in a while, because you know a bunch of producers are fighting with who actually owns what, and they're angry at each other.
Yeah.
Apparently none of them bothered to put TV in the contracts. They only ever put movies. So Brian Fuller found a loophole.
Interesting.
Gotta love them loopholes.
So what do you think? Are you interested in a Crystal Lake series? What would you want to see out of a Crystal Lake series?
I don't want to be like one of those angry internet people. So, I mean, I'm just going to be cautiously optimistic, I guess, because I just don't want it to be like too overly dramatic. Like, I don't know.
Well, mind you, Brian Fuller is the guy who did Pushing Daisies, which was a really good show that got
Good show.
it
Okay.
didn't last long enough.
Okay.
He also did Hannibal,
Okay.
which I never watched, but I heard good things about.
All right.
And he did Bates Motel.
All right.
So he's already taken 2 horror franchises and prequelized them for shows. Because I think that's what he did with Hannibal. I'm not sure. I know he took Hannibal Lecter and turned him to a TV show. But I know Bates Motel was like Norman Bates as a child growing up to where we got him in Psycho, the first movie.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
he already took that story and it lasted for a couple of years. Like they dragged that story out for a while.
Hmm.
Apparently it was good. I just never bothered to watch it. I'm not like I enjoy Psycho, but not as much as some of the other horror franchises. But so this guy does have a pedigree when it comes to the weird
Yeah.
or the macabre. So if anybody can do it, I guess it would be him. But at the same time, like, do you have an interest in watching a story of what was her name? Pamela?
Hmm.
Of Pamela Voorhees going from, just doting mother to, screaming, raging psychopath.
Yeah. Is that what it's gonna be?
I mean, that's what everybody said it was as soon as they announced it, because that was when we were all under the impression that they didn't have rights to the hockey mask or really Jason in general.
Hmm.
But now that they do, like he's like, no, everything is on the table. So I don't know if you have a season of like Pamela hanging out because that also raises questions of like, did she know that Jason was alive the whole time? But she was still out for revenge just because she was truly psycho? Or was he hiding from her in the woods just watching her the whole time? And when like, what's her name chopped her head off, that was when he was all like, oh, coming back.
Yeah.
Or did
Yeah.
I mean
I don't think she knew.
I was gonna say she did and kept him locked up.
well, as the host of Vamping with Voorhees, was it ever determined that if that thing that happened at the end of one, was that a dream sequence or was that real?
Oh, the lake, the very end.
Yeah, the very end.
I think that was a dream sequence.
Okay.
That
Because
was, yeah.
because what's the time frame between 1 and 2? Because I mean, if it wasn't a dream sequence, he goes from being a small child to big hulking mass murderer like overnight.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So that's why I think it has to be a dream sequence, because 2 is like a very short time after 1.
Okay. So maybe this is his, because there's a lot of stuff that happened in between the movies that is kind of just implied. Like, how did he find out where what's her name lived and hunt her down at her apartment and kill her?
Right,
You
yeah.
know?
It's all implied. He's a good tracker because he lives in the woods for so long.
Right. And because I mean the argument that you could make was that whatever number reboot, movie that came out in the last, 15 years fits more like in line with where number 5 would be.
Uh-huh.
Because he wasn't the killer in 5. So like while the fake killer was over on one side, Jason was over on the other side. And we've had different kind of iterations of Jason, of him being I hesitate to use the word smart, but a little bit more intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, obviously, as it goes on, he becomes more of. I mean, as he becomes more undead, he becomes more of just a killing machine. Where in the early movies, he sets traps. He, is a little more patient. There's a lot less just knocking down walls and ripping people's heads off.
Right. Yeah. He's slapsticky too.
Yeah. So, or do you just go skip it all and go right to Jason Goes to Space and set the entire series in outer space?
Well, then that'd just be
Oh,
why even bother then at that point?
I mean, because you also have, I mean, there's also just the really messed up timeline of between 9 and 10 of like 9 they blow him up and he becomes just like a heart that people have to eat and whatever, and then 10 he's somehow back to form and then they freeze him and send him to space.
Right.
I think they should do that with more serial killers. Just freeze them and send them to space.
Why not?
Well, I mean, we do have, some evidence that it doesn't go well. Maybe don't send nanotechnology with them.
No, just them by themselves in a little
Oh, okay.
capsule.
All right.
Yeah, there we go.
So every time we catch a serial killer, just, cryogenically freeze them and launch them into space.
Yep, just launch them out there.
All right. I mean, I'm all right with it.
Yeah, then you'd probably think twice about becoming a serial killer.
Yeah, I see. Here's the thing, though. When you decide to become a serial killer, I don't know if common sense and logic is really at the top of your list. Like,
It might not be, but neither is wanting to be just yeeted out to space.
yeah, no, I don't know. It is what it is. So, all right, let's. Well, do we want to talk about Weird Al or do we want to get onto Justin's things?
One of my
Well.
things.
Whatever list you were writing down.
That was one of my things.
Oh, Weird Al. All right.
Yes.
Let's talk about Weird Al.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
How amazing was that movie?
Yeah, hell yeah. That was great.
Movie was hilarious.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things I didn't know.
Like I didn't know that Madonna was currently at large. Oh, by the way, I mean it's a free movie, so you had all the reason in the world to just watch it. Because
Mhm.
I think all you had to really do is even download the Roku app. You didn't even have to have a Roku player. So it's your fault if you're listening to this and we're spoiling it. But Madonna's at large. She took over for Pablo Escobar,
Mhm.
Who Weird Al kills.
and then apparently, even though we just saw him in concert, somehow died tragically in 1985.
I thought the same thing. It was like, didn't we just see this guy?
I love that even like knowing that the movie was going to be crazy, like them like this is totally 100% legit. You're like, is it? And then like increasingly like, yeah, no, not even close. Like I don't think other than him getting an accordion from a door-to-door salesman and him, Dr. Demento helping launch his career.
Right.
I don't think there's much in the way of actual truth in this movie.
Well, it did say his dad lost his hand. That's truth.
Oh, that is truth?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that one. I know his parents were supportive. I know they didn't quite understand it, but they were supportive. They weren't like, get that devil instrument out of here.
Yeah.
What do you think they were making at that factory?
I don't know what they were making at the factory.
What a great bit. You really are. Your dad did say you were funny, kid.
I honestly was waiting for it to be accordions.
Nice.
Like
it looked like a big forge or something.
I mean, not a complaint about the movie at all, but how do you think they determined what songs to include and what, like, all of the hundreds that they left off? Like, I get Baloney because that was the first one, and another one, Rides the Bus, was like the second one. And I'm guessing Rocky Road was pretty close after that.
Yeah.
Eat It was the one that really launched him from just like, the college circuit to massive stardom. Like a Surgeon took him to another level. And then obviously Gangster's Paradise was, or Amish Paradise.
Amish Paradise.
Amish Paradise is what, really kind of cemented him. But like there was a lot of other really like Fat, like they talked about that kind of, but they never played it. Like
Yeah. With his mom.
Or their Nirvana song. Or,
I know it.
Did you notice that the sandwich that he was eating was ham on whole wheat?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Oh,
that's funny.
Yeah, when he was like, yeah. Oh, I felt stupid because like I was like, oh, she put on a little weight. It never dawned on me that was gonna be like them talking about coming up with a parody for Fat. Now,
yeah.
do you think this is gonna go like Inglourious Bastards, where people have a hard time understanding that this is an alternate reality, like this isn't true?
I mean, if they do, they're pretty stupid.
Considering Weird Al's still doing stuff.
Right. Yeah.
He's clearly not a zombie. Or is he?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, who knows? Do you think they got Madonna's like did she sign off on the movie? Or
I was wondering that too. I think they had to talk to her.
because I mean
Yeah,
I
I don't
know
know.
that by by law Weird Al does not have to get permission to do what he does. Like he can just take any song and use it as a parody. But because he doesn't want to start fights and doesn't want to have tons of people angry at him, he will only do the song if the artist signs off on it.
Hmm.
So I've
Yeah,
got to assume,
unless you're angry Coolio in the crowd.
well, that I mean, there's a whole record company lying to Weird Al about
Yeah.
Coolio saying that.
But I'd say, like, speaking of that, like the people they got, like the different celebrities they got to just appear in this movie.
Oh yeah,
It was
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah, like all the
especially in that.
comedians at the pool scene.
Yeah, the one pool party with Jack Black, two of the three Lonely Island guys,
Yeah. Conan
uh,
O'Brien as Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
uh, Emo Phillips as Salvador Dali.
No,
Yeah,
we were just watching it and going through, and all the different like celebrities are popping up, just their little cameos. And
I
Rainn
mean,
Wilson.
yeah, I mean Jack Black as Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, that was a fun movie.
I mean, and such a pitch perfect parody. Like, I mean, we haven't had a good parody movie in a while, but like, because it didn't really take in, like, it wasn't like just taking direct scenes, like it was taking tropes. Like, I definitely picked up on like the walk the line, where like the angry parents like didn't support, the midget. There's a lot of other stuff. Let's see, who all was in here? Lin-Manuel Miranda was the doctor.
Yeah.
Thomas Lennon was the salesman. Well, Will Forte was that scene made me laugh too. When Will Forte was like, "You're ugly, you're stupid, that's the word," and like just going on, and then Weird Al, who was playing, one of the
The
record
record
producers, was like,
execs, yeah.
"Oh, hold on, you're going a little too far."
Yeah, that's a little far.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt was a heckler.
Yeah.
Michael McKean was in there.
Wow.
Oh, Paul F. Tompkins was Gallagher.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
David DeSmulchin, who has been in a bunch of. He was in Ant-Man, both of the Ant-Man movies, and Polka Dot Man from the Suicide Squad.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a ton of cameos. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I almost watched it a second time, but I decided to watch UHF instead
Nice.
because I was like, where? I haven't seen UHF. Do I have to go to my basement? Oh, look, it's on Tubi. I can deal with commercials. I ain't going down there.
Yeah. All right.
But I can't say enough good things about it. It's unfortunate that Roku didn't put the movie in theaters, so that it could actually be eligible for an Oscar.
Oh, like the last song.
Yeah, because I mean,
It says he's eligible for a Grammy.
yeah, I mean, I think it's still eligible for an Emmy and probably even a Grammy. Um, I don't know. I can't imagine. I mean, listen, I'm gonna say that Daniel Radcliffe deserved an Oscar nomination for it.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right.
But I don't think there's any chance that had it been eligible for an Oscar, that other than the song, anything from that movie would have been nominated.
Yeah, true.
But let's talk about Daniel Radcliffe for a second. Like we're blowing up all the cameos and just how funny it was, but how good was Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah, he's excellent. I enjoy a lot of his stuff.
He is becoming one of my favorite actors.
Same.
Like, just I mean, obviously I enjoyed the Harry Potter stuff, but like his stuff after Harry Potter. Like, have you had a chance to watch Miracle Workers yet? Either of you?
Yeah, I've watched that one.
Okay.
No.
It's so funny. I mean, I'm hoping there's a fourth season, but all three seasons it has the same cast, but it has no it's a different story. So like the first season of Miracle Workers,
He grants wishes.
he's an angel, I guess.
Yeah, who grants the prayers.
And Steve Buscemi is God, and he like kind of given up, or it's so weird and bizarre. But like I really enjoyed the second season. I think even more when they go to the Middle Ages.
Um,
The third season was pretty good too when they did the Oregon Trail. But
yeah, it's a good one.
it's on HBO Max if you get a shot, Jeremy. It's worth it. I think they're like 6 episode, 8 episode, half hour, so it doesn't take too long to burn through.
Same
All
with
right.
like Guns Akimbo. I thought that was a really good movie.
Guns Akimbo was pretty funny. I thought he did a really good job as the bad guy in Lost City.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That's that new Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum movie.
Oh. Swiss Army Man.
I've still not seen that one.
That's good.
I haven't seen any of these things.
All right.
Do a Daniel Radcliffe bracket.
Well,
Good.
I mean, 7 or 8 of them is just going to be Harry Potter, and then it'll be debating,
Other random movies.
Okay, Swiss Army Man is. Oh, I could watch it. It's on a couple of the streamers that I have.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but all right. Well, the one thing I wrote down, because like you had mentioned, there's so many hits. Like I wanted to do a bracket of his hits, which that would be another one of those episodes that is going to take us like 2 hours to do. Instead, if you guys want, I did a small bracket with his actual CDs.
Okay.
If you want to, Jeremy, because Nicholas seems on board. He has 14 released albums.
Who?
So I didn't. Weird Al.
Oh,
Weird-
yeah. Okay.
So I did bracket HQ, and then I did the random 7 times because apparently that's the number we're set on
Okay.
here. So again, we'll just run through them. I figured it'd be a small, quick bracket. All right, number 9, we had Alapalooza, which was released in 1993. It was his number 8 studio album, and that's the one with Jurassic Park and Bedrock Anthem.
Okay.
Going against number 8, Running with Scissors, which came out in 99. It was his number 10 album, and that has The Saga Begins and Pretty Fly for a Rabbi.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think I'm gonna go Running with Scissors. I mean, I do like Alapalooza because that's also the Smells Like Nirvana song, right?
Smells like Nirvana was off the deep end.
Oh, right. That's right. The Nirvana cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know which one you are going to vote for here, Jeremy.
I'm gonna go Running with Scissors. I have fond memories of buying that as a youth at the local Walmart.
That's the same one I'm gonna go with here. All right, then you have number 5, which was UHF.
I actually I'm sorry, Justin. I have a really funny story about this. Running with Scissors, even though it's probably gonna keep going. But the song, I was always afraid I always skipped that song when he was a trucker, like with high heels on, when it would play in the car, because I was like, oh shit, my parents can't, I don't know what they'll think of me if they hear this song.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry. Go on.
All right, so at number 5, you have UHF, which was released in 1986 or 1989, and it was the 6th album. That one had UHF, Money for Nothing, and Spam, among others. Verse number 12, which is Polka Party, released in 1986, his 4th album, which has Living with a Hernia, Christmas at Ground Zero, and Addicted to Spuds. For me, I would probably go with Polka Party on that one. I really liked Addicted to Spuds. That's one of my top songs. Plus, Living with a Hernia is a hilarious song.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Um, I'm gonna tell you, I think there's a good chance that Polka Party might have been the first Weird Al cassette that I bought at a garage sale. But I think even with that, I'm giving it to UHF because I know I listened to UHF as an album and watched the movie hundreds of times.
Recently.
well, recently, but I listened to that album probably more than I've seen the movie, and yeah.
All right, Jeremy, it's up to you.
Okay. I think I'm probably gonna have to go with UHF.
Okay, so that moves on.
I mean, you can't be you're not going wrong any way you vote here. I mean, you're still getting.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I can't do his hits because that bracket would be huge. Okay, number 13, you have Off the Deep End. Came out in 1992, his seventh album, which has Can't Watch This, Smells Like Nirvana, You Don't Love Me Anymore, and The White Stuff on it. Sounded weird when I said that. Verse number 4, Poodle Hat, came out in 2003. It was his 11th album that had Hardware Store, Trash Day, and eBay on it.
Ooh, that's a tough one, actually.
Oh,
for me.
Yeah, Poodle Hat's a good album. No lies.
Yes.
I mean, there's some really good songs on there, but I have really fond memories of Off the Deep End.
Same. I think I would probably go with Off the Deep End here. Be my vote.
Well, I'll just say Poodle Hat then to make it interesting. There's some jams on there. I love that one where he's complaining about shit. Why does it always happen to me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nicholas, what's going on?
I'm going Off the Deep End. I mean, it's just my memories of that album.
All right.
Not
There
mad.
we go.
Number 3, you have Straight Outta Linwood, came out in 2006, his 12th album, which has Don't Download the Song, White and Nerdy, Canadian Idiot, and I'll Sue Ya. Going against number 14, which is Weird Al Yankovic in 3D. Came out in 1984. It was his second album, which has Eat It, King of Suede, and I Lost on Jeopardy.
Mm.
Oh man, I thought I was for sure going straight out of Linwood because that one's such a good album. But man,
For me, it's Straight Outta Linwood on this one.
but 3D, Eat It, Lost on Jeopardy, King of Suede, Mr. Popeil, That Boy Could Dance. Oh, the theme from Rocky 8, Nature Trail to Hell.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm still gonna go straight into Linwood though. Oh, I feel bad though, because
That's what I would have done too.
Yeah, Straight Outta Linwood.
I actually owned that album as opposed to
Me
the
too.
other one.
All right, you got number, I think that says 11. Yep, number 11, Mandatory Fun, came out in 2014. It was his 14th album. That had Handy, Foil, and Word Crimes on it. Going against number 6, which is Bad Hair Day, came out in 1996, his 9th album, which had Amish Paradise, Gump, The Night Santa Went Crazy, among others.
That Hair Day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
mandatory fun is good, and it won him a Grammy. And I mean, there are some really good songs on there, but Bad Hair Day is just.
There's so many good songs.
Right. All right, we got number 7, which is Alpocalypse, 2011, his 13th album. Has Whatever You Like, Craigslist, Perform This Way, and TMZ. Going against number 10, Even Worse, 1988, his 5th album, which had Fat Lasagna, and I Think I'm a Clone Now.
Now I'm debating on whether or not Even Worse was the first album, or if it was Polka Party. I know I bought one of them at a garage sale for like a quarter or like 50 cents. And then I just like burned that cassette. Like I just listened to it. I'm sure my parents were sick of it because I made them listen to it in the car. Like,
Yeah.
oh man. Apocalypse is good, but I'm definitely going even worse, I think.
Jeremy?
I think I'm gonna have to go the same way. Kind of just looking here at the track list. I think like there's only a couple songs that stand out to me on Apocalypse. I mean, there's some real steamers on this album, but Skipper Dan is great. But yeah, anyways, even worse.
Even worse. Yeah,
Even
I was going the
worse.
same way. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next round. Okay, you have number one that had the first round bye was Weird Al Yankovic, the debut album, 1983, first album, had My Baloney, Another One Rides the Bus, and I Love Rocky Road, going against Running with Scissors.
That's tough.
Whew. I like them both, but I think I'd have to go with Running with Scissors. I just know more songs off that album because I had that CD and I listened to it a lot.
You know, honestly, I think the first album I know I've listened to a lot of the songs off of it, but the first album might be one that I've either never bought or I never moved from cassette to CD. But the other one, you said straight out of
No, Running with Scissors.
Running with Scissors. I mean, I'm gonna go Running with Scissors. I agree. I mean,
Jeremy, would you like to vote?
I would go the same way,
So,
even though I did actually have the first album as a kid. I know a lot of the songs off of it, but it has like a weird raw quality to a lot of the tracks. I mean, obviously because it was old, but
yeah.
I'll Be Mellow When I'm Dead is definitely my favorite track on there.
All right. Number 5, UHF taking on 13 Off the Deep End. Yeah, they're just getting harder.
yeah. I mean, just gut reaction off the deep end.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same gut reaction. All right. What should be the championship, but it's not because of the seeding here. Number 3, Straight Out of Linwood versus number 6, Bad Hair Day.
Let's see here, Bad Hair Day.
Yeah.
Amish Paradise, Gump. Everything you know is wrong. Since you've been gone.
Which one had all about the Pentiums?
That was Running with Scissors.
That's Running with Scissors.
How about the Pentiums, baby?
So Straight Out of Linwood or Bad Hair Day?
I'm gonna say Bad Hair Day.
Nicholas?
I'm debating here. White and Nerdy is so good.
Same with Canadian Idiot.
I'll Sue You is pretty funny. Close but no cigar. Oh, Trapped in the Dry. You know what? I'm gonna go Straight Out of Linwood.
Oh man.
I mean, Bad Hair Day is. I don't want to vote against Bad Hair Day, but
I think I'm gonna go Straight Out of Linwood.
Wow.
I think Straight Out of Linwood has more I like than Bad Hair Day, but it's like Amish Paradise is like probably the top song. But overall, as an album, I'm gonna go with Straight Out of Linwood. Hard to do. Okay, moving on down. You got number 10, Even Worse, taking on number 2. On this side of the paper, Dare to Be Stupid, 1985, his third album. Has This Is Life, I Want a New Duck, Dare to Be Stupid, and Like a Surgeon.
versus which one again?
Even Worse. That's the one with Fat, Lasagna, I think I'm a
Oh.
clone now.
You can't go wrong either way, honestly.
Can't go wrong
But-
with any of these picks.
Well, that is true. I mean, we keep saying that. Uh, man, even worse.
I'll say
Jeremy?
Dare to Be Stupid.
This is even worse again. I'm gonna go with Dare to Be Stupid as well. I really like I Want a New Duck.
I there in music class in elementary school, like on like Fridays or whatever, like you got to bring in a record or a cassette and like have the teacher play like one song. And I made them play I Want a New Duck.
Nice. All right, final four. Running with Scissors, number 8, taking on Off the Deep End, number 13.
Oh.
I'm going Running with Scissors. I'll start us off with running with Scissors. I say I knew the story of Star Wars from that before I actually seen Star Wars. It taught me everything I needed to know.
All about the Pentiums.
What kind of chip you got in there? A Dorito?
Perfect flag for a rabbi.
Oy vey,
Oh my
oy vey.
God.
Oh man.
I used to remember a lot of them. I can't do it anymore.
Smells like Nirvana, Trigger Happy.
Your computer boots up in what, a week and a half?
Right, the
Something
white
like
stuff.
that, right?
That's my
Taco
computer.
I'm gonna make life difficult on Jeremy. I'm gonna go off the deep end.
Ooh, okay. Well, there's a lot of good jabs on both of them, like we have said. I mean, we got
The anticipation, Jeremy.
Running with Scissors.
Good
No,
choice.
it's still a really good album.
All right, you got number 2, Dare to Be Stupid, going against number 3, Straight Out of Linwood.
Dare to Be Stupid.
Yes. Did you notice on Roku they put a lot of the music videos up as well?
No,
I didn't
notice
see that.
Oh yeah, if you go to like the weird, like at least on my TV, because I got the Roku TV, like the Weird Al movie is like its own section right now. So like when you click that, like you can enter like some sweepstakes, or they got like some, like some trailers, and then they've just got like an 80s music video section. So they got a bunch of his videos and a bunch of Madonna videos and then some just random ones. So like I think Thursday or yesterday, I watched I don't know how many Weird Al videos like back to back. I've been Weird Aling a lot this week.
Yeah, same.
Yesterday at work, I put on his essentials on Apple Music and just rocked out while I was doing my job because nobody's in the shop on Saturday, so I can listen to stuff that I know won't make people mad. So it's like Weird Al, crank it.
Right.
All right.
All right, Straight Out of Linwood, Dare to Be Stupid. What do you got?
Oh, I'll go first and say Dare to Be Stupid.
Oh, I'm going to go next and say Straight Out of Linwood.
I'm also gonna go straight out of Linwood. I mean, Dare to Be Stupid is, I love that song. I love that song. I love that album. But Straight Out of Linwood is just such a good album.
All right, championship round. Which album's better? Straight Out of Linwood or Running with Scissors? Running with Scissors came out in 99. Like I said, 10th album. The Saga Begins, Pretty Fly for a Rabbi. Straight Out of Linwood, 2006, number 12 album. White Nerdy, Canadian Idiot, I'll Sue Ya.
Yeah. Running with
Yeah.
Scissors.
All right, I'm gonna give you a hint as to why I was probably single most of the time through college. Definitely went by myself to the Running with Scissors concert, um, and had the Running with Scissors T-shirt that I wore a lot. So here I am. And that would have been like junior, senior year of college. Still rocking Weird Al shirts. Yeah. So that might give you an indication as to why I was well single the entire time I was in college. But I think I'm gonna go Running with Scissors as well.
All right, I'm gonna go with Straight Outta Linwood, even though it doesn't matter.
Wah,
It's
wah.
Running with Scissors. There you go.
Hey.
I'm
Running with
trying to
Scissors,
decide.
top
I'm
album.
trying to decide what album I listen to the most.
For me, it's either Straight Outta Linwood or Bad Hair Day. Those two. Like the night Santa went crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be Off the Deep End or man, it could be Running with Scissors. It could be Straight to Linwood. I don't know. They're just
The
so
night Santa
many.
went crazy. Nice
The
Chris
night
Kringle went
Santa
insane.
went-
Fuck yeah.
Then
Ground up
Saint
poor
Nicholas flipped,
ground up poor Rudolph into reindeer sausage.
took out who with an old German, took out Blitzen with an old German Luger.
That'll be revisited around Christmas time, by the way, guys.
I'm sure it will. All right, well then, I wasn't expecting a Weird Al bracket, so thank you.
Yeah, nice job, Justin.
All right.
Couldn't do the songs, so I did the albums.
Yeah, I think it would be really hard to pick songs and yeah, like you said, that'd be a long debate because there'd be a lot of starting to quote individual lyrics and
Yeah.
Yeah.
bad karaoke versions of the three of us attempting to sing.
Yeah. Could have that on a game show.
We could.
What Weird Al song is this?
Now, all right. Is there I mean, there's a number of Weird Al songs that I know that like we probably prefer over the original.
Yes.
Is there any Weird Al parody where you're like, I want the original instead?
Hmm.
Because
That's a good question.
I was trying to come up with that because there are all, I mean, some of the earlier albums in particular, I definitely heard the parodies before I heard the originals. So like, when I hear Cherry Soda or whatever that song is, all I think is Yoda, you know.
Yeah. I actually like I Want a New Drug. I don't know if I like that one more than I Want a New Duck, but I do like that song.
I mean, there's a lot of songs that I like as much as the parody, like like "Smells Like Teen Spirit" is an awesome song, but I love "Smells Like Nirvana." I mean, I would say almost, probably as much, if not more. Like,
Same with Lump and Gump.
yep. I mean, there's a lot of songs, but there's so many songs that like when I hear on the radio, my first thought is Weird Al. Oh no, that's the original. No,
Yeah.
that's
Or you just start going with the Weird Al version of it.
right. Yeah, I sing the Weird Al version in my head.
Yeah.
Right.
Or out loud if I'm alone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was having that debate in my head. Like, is there a parody where I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have touched that. The original is so much better. And I couldn't come up with one.
Yeah, not one off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm really not thinking of anything.
What about Party in the USA versus Party in the CIA?
Ooh,
That would be
that's
one that
close.
I definitely prefer the parody well over the original.
Well, I know Jeremy likes the original.
That's
I
because
do.
I know he likes to think about the person who sang the original.
Don't judge a man.
Dude. Come on. I
Oh, he's
also
not-
unironically like the song.
Oh, okay. It's a little weird, but I mean, then there's like Perform This Way. I like way better than like Born This Way.
Yeah.
Well,
What about another
Yeah.
one bites the dust? Another one rides the bus.
Yeah,
That
what
would be
about that?
that would
Yeah.
be one of those like
Smart
right
guy.
Jeremy's losing it.
I guess it's very hard to find any. Oh, you know what? Foil. No, that's better. That's
Yeah,
yeah,
better.
that's better
I
than
mean,
Royal.
Better.
I do like Lord. I do think she's really good, but I
Me
love
too.
Foil.
Stan Marsh. Is that or is Stan's dad?
Stands Randy.
Randy Marsh, you mean?
Yeah. I'm Lord.
Um,
Classic.
Ah,
like I could like I know I've heard it because I wanted to hear the original once, but like White and Dirty, I can almost sing along with, and I know the words to that like the back of my hand. I mean, I if I'm here listening to it anyway, I couldn't tell you if I've ever actually listened to all of Right and Dirty. Like I want to say I did it once just so I could say I did it, but
so I could say I did it. I did it, man. I listened to the song.
so
I think that song was pretty big when we were in high school. Riding
Uh,
Dirty.
I know Chameleonaire said that that's the reason that he won a Grammy.
Hmm.
That Weird Al gave him the Weird Al bump.
Nice.
Which
that
okay,
CD
that
would have
is
came out in 2006. So I would have been out and you would have been sophomore,
Something like that.
freshman.
Yeah.
right. That was one of the things that they made that they talked about in the movie that's real. Not to the level, but there is such a thing as the Weird Al bump. Like
Hmm.
any song that he parodied does get a bump in sales, or their album gets a bump in sales. Not quite to the 200,000% or whatever it was they said it was in the
Yeah,
movie, but yeah.
that's cool.
But yeah, no, Chameleonaire is on record as saying that he doesn't believe he wins his Grammy for Riding Dirty if Weird Al didn't parody
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Good for him shouting out Weird Al.
it. So all right. Well then
Only thing I got is vampires.
Well,
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
oh,
Okay. Have you seen, like, if you go out towards Lake Geneva, Milwaukee, Waterford, how the streetlights kind of have that purple hue to them?
yeah.
So we looked up why they have it, and there was a couple things, three separate articles said they're like one's like it's so they can see through the black tint. Something said it was so they could activate the 5G in your COVID vaccine. And they all said it's not vampires.
It's not vampires.
Yeah. Just
They-
randomly in the article, it said it's not vampires. So if three separate articles said it's not vampires, now I'm worried there's a vampire problem.
Okay, so where's this purple light?
There's one in there, like the streetlights have like a purple hue to them. And they said it's just a filter defect in the light, but it's in like different states, it's in different countries, like Canada has it. It's
They
in
have
like
it.
it's in Lake Geneva by the roundabouts.
Yeah, by over by like the Piggly Wiggly and
Yeah, imagine.
Okay.
Yeah, the
I'll have
the lights are kind of like a black light look to them.
Oh,
it's like
I
you're up
don't-
in the club.
I don't get out too often at night. I'm old now, remember? So my neighborhood doesn't even have streetlights, so we don't have a vampire problem here.
Well, maybe you do because they're repelling the vampires with the purple lights.
Oh, okay. So my neighborhood is full of vampires.
But yeah,
Um,
three separate articles said it's not vampires.
Right.
It's
That is
weird.
weird. That's bizarre. Also, I do question the validity of any article that you're reading that says that 5G is activating the whatever in your
That
COVID vaccine?
the COVID vaccine is activating the 5G with the black light.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead. It doesn't matter how legitimate the rest of the article is, if that statement's included in it, it's just yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not vampires.
No, okay. All right, well, so apparently there's a vampire problem. that we are now aware of.
Yeah.
So all of you vampire listeners, we're on to you. And we appreciate that you listen.
Yeah.
When you're taking out your victims, make sure that they subscribe and
Grab their phone,
grab their
open up
phone.
to whichever streaming app they use, like and subscribe.
So, hey, good on you, vampires.
Yeah. Otherwise, what else happened? Leslie Jordan passed away.
Mm.
I don't think we talked about that since we were doing our spooky season.
I'm not sure that happened while we were doing our spook. Like that wasn't that just like last week?
I think so, maybe. And then Aaron Carter as well.
Oh yeah.
That happened today.
Today or yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I know nothing about Aaron Carter other than he exists. So, but based off of what I do know about him, the lifestyle that he was leading, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't make it any less tragic. But, like you just wish that somebody had been able to get to him before whatever it was that, because obviously they don't know right now. It's all speculation, but he was leading a particular kind of lifestyle that kind of lends itself to
Yeah.
a tragic end.
He was partying hard. And
Yeah.
then Leslie Jordan. I like Leslie Jordan.
Yeah, he's funny. He's one of those guys that like he's just a weird little guy who showed up so much.
What was that show he did in the retirement home?
Oh, it didn't last very long, but
No, it's him, Martin Mull.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Richard Greer? Is that his name?
I don't think it was Richard Gere, but
Greer, something Greer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What is his name? All right, that's bugging me.
But he was in. There was a show that was called like The Con Man or Con. Like it was Nathan Fillion was involved with it. There, it was a bunch of actors who were going basically from just like Comic Con to Comic Con, and like just the weird interactions between. Like there was this Firefly type show that was supposed to be getting a reboot that, it was kind of making fun of that was pretty funny. And he was part of that.
David Allen Greer.
David Allen Greer. Yeah, that's real different than Richard Gere.
I said Greer, not Gear. I had their last name right. And then, and then Vicki Lawrence as well.
Oh.
Who?
She's one of those old school comedians. I think she was on the Carol Burnett show.
Yeah. Wasn't she Mama and Mama's Family?
I believe she was, yes.
Do you remember Mama's Family?
I mean, yeah, but no.
That was one of those. That was one of those that like MASH. Like, oh, I have to watch Mama's Family. Oh, I have to watch MASH.
MASH was awful.
Cool Kids only made it one season.
That song, I think I could put the MASH theme song on right now and it would put me out. But that doesn't say a lot because like I fell asleep in this chair yesterday just watching YouTube. So
I'm not gonna say I'm sitting on my couch, so I fall asleep here kind of often. So
I'm at the kitchen table, or dining room table, so I'm not falling asleep.
I just growing up that like when it lagged out, I'd hear that and it was be like 10:30. It's like, oh, time to like move into the other room and like go to bed for real. Well, the MASH theme is playing.
The MASH theme is called "Suicide is Painless."
Oh, jeez.
Like, how did you? I mean, a sitcom based on the Korean War, like the medical unit of the Korean War, with a theme song for "Suicide is Painless." Right?
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. Like, wow. How does that make it out there? And then,
right. It lasts for like 14 years. Like longer than the Korean War itself.
Right.
it lasted MASH lasted 11 years.
Okay. Well,
72 to 83.
And if you didn't know what it was all about, just based on the description, you would never think that a guy at any point shows up in a dress.
Oh, cleaner.
I wonder now as an adult, as adults, if we were to sit down and give MASH an honest try, like if we would find it funny, or if just
Well,
because of our childhood, like if we would just be like, oh no, I can't.
it's on Hulu, so I'll give it the old try here. Community college try.
All right,
I'll watch a couple of episodes of MASH and I'll report back next week.
all right.
Okay.
You can take that hit for us then. All right. Well,
I had to go to sleep. Just get someone to do a
uh,
cover version of that, and we'll play that when the show is ending.
all right.
Yeah.
Well then, all right. Anybody else got anything else or?
Well,
Hmm.
I have been watching. I don't know if I brought this up before, but The Dark Side of Comedy. It's a Vice series.
I've watched the Dark Side of Wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
the Vice
I-
series.
Okay. How's that?
Depends on who they're covering. They can be pretty good. Otherwise, it's like who? I supposed to know who this guy is.
Yeah.
They did one on Benoit too. That
Mm.
was it was okay.
Yeah,
But
they
I was
Go
gonna say, but
ahead.
anyways, how was yours?
well, they cover a lot of really tragic ones. Like the one I just watched was Freddie Prince. Like that's a really crazy story. I didn't know he was so young when that happened. I mean, I really didn't know anything about him actually.
I'm guessing that's Freddie Prinze Jr.'s dad.
Yeah,
But
he
good
was a
detective work, Batman.
comedian. And he was on Chico and the Man. And yeah, he just I guess he just couldn't handle all the stuff that was thrown at him and he just killed himself.
Yeah,
So,
there's
tough.
unfortunately way too many comedians who, I mean, I can't. I'm just blanking on names right now. There's one in particular I was trying to come up with. He was really famous for a while. I can't. I know. Well, obviously Robin Williams.
Right.
Mm.
You know, I'm completely blanking on the other guy's name I was thinking of. So, all right. Well then, now that you've brought us down,
Well, we can talk about other stuff.
I was thinking Phil
Okay.
Hartman.
Oh yeah,
Or was he murdered?
Yeah, I
he
thought
was murdered.
his wife.
His wife went nuts and murdered him,
Ah,
which is still pretty tragic. But
yeah, we're supposed to bring people joy, guys.
yeah,
Did you guys watch? Wait. This is better. The Christmas Story trailer, the full one, that's out. Did you see that?
I watched the teaser, and I mean, I love Christmas stories, so I'm in. So like, I didn't need to watch the trailer. I'm not expecting it to be good by any stretch of the imagination, but
I mean,
I'm still
the,
excited.
the trailer actually has me a little bit more hopeful.
Oh,
But-
okay. I'll have to give it a shot then.
I just still wish they wouldn't have done this.
I'm probably gonna think the same thing, but that doesn't stop me from watching it. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that I watched that I'm like, I shouldn't watch this, but I'm gonna watch it anyway.
At
I
least
got nothing.
it'll go right to HBO Max and we don't have to pay for it.
That
I
is
mean-
true. So
In theory, I
right.
guess we are, but
okay, well then I guess oh crap, we used to have a way of ending these things.
if
You
there's
you talk about what we've talked about.
Yeah, but we didn't really
final
talk about
thoughts.
we didn't really talk about I guess if you've decided you're gonna make a prequel series to Friday the 13th, then you know you just
Better
lie.
not fuck it up,
Yeah,
guys.
better not fuck it up because, well, you know, I mean, I'm gonna watch at least the first episode to give it a shot, but I'm not holding out hope. So, I guess just to remember that stupid never walks alone.
Yeah.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and listen to an 80s Flick Flashback podcast once in a while, you could miss it. Do you love movies of a certain age? Do you miss the days of VHS tapes, VCRs, and the video rental stores? Does the thought of another 80s movie being remade seem inconceivable? My name is Tim Williams. I'm the creator and host of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. On each episode, I'm joined by guest co-hosts to discuss one of the many movies released in the 1980s. We share our first-time watch memories, our favorite scenes, and even learn some behind-the-scenes stories about the cast and crew along the way. New episodes are released every other Friday on your favorite podcasting platform. So make like a tree, get out of here, and go listen to an excellent episode of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. The ad is over. Go home. Go.